Hi, I'm Yvonne and here is my review for the 2020 album by Vandenberg. I decided to do a review anyway, even though it's an older album, because I think it's an excellent album. I never had a chance to do a review for this one because I wasn't a YouTuber yet back then. And who knows, maybe some of you have not heard it yet. When Adrian first announced that MoonKings were going into hibernation, I was very sad, but Vandenberg 2.0 totally made up for that sadness, because what's not to like? He decided to put MoonKings in the fridge because MoonKings singer Jan wasn't able to go touring for a longer period, and also Adrian wanted to go louder, harder and faster, which he certainly succeeded at. And then his manager proposed that he would start working under the name Vandenberg again, because then he wouldn't have to come up yet with another name and another logo. The band on this album consists of Ronnie Romero on vocals, Koen Herfst on drums, Randy van der Elsen on bass, and of course Adrian on guitars. There are some interesting guest musicians on this album. Adrian's good friend Rudy Sarzo and former Whitesnake drummer Tichy, and also Adrian's MoonKings mates Sem Christoffel and Mart Nijen Es. Rudy and Brian were asked to play on this album because Adrian didn't have the band lineup together until 2 weeks before the studio was booked. But then he found Koen and Randy, and Brian and Rudy became special guests. And Sem and Mart ended up on this album because Adrian needed music to go with a press release at the time. And he didn't have music yet, but he did have the basic tracks for Burning Heart 2020, recorded with Sem and Mart in the MoonKings period. Then Ronnie sang on it, and it just sounded so great that they decided to put it on the album, and also because it became a beautiful bridge between the old and the new Vandenberg. Adrian wrote all the songs on this album, and as usual his songwriting is excellent. Bob Marlette produced the album. This was the first time Bob and Adrian worked together, and it became a very powerful and organic album. Bob also plays some keyboards on this album, and they partly used keyboards from Adrian's iPad from when he was making demos, because they simply sounded so good. The album came out on red vinyl. Wonderful red vinyl. It came out on CD, and it came out on a signed limited edition deluxe box set with some cool extras. So there is the CD. It's not a jewel case, but a cardboard case, and if you call it that, I like that much better. There it is. This booklet is in here, which is great, but this has a tendency to tear. Well, that's the only thing. It came with 2 coasters. I wouldn't know what to do with them, but cool anyway. It came with a postcard. It came, where is my sticker? Of course. It came with 2 stickers that one of them I used, let me show you, for my lunchbox, and the other one I used for my bicycle. So now I'm having a Vandenberg. And there were some picks, guitar picks with it that I was so stupid at first to use as guitar picks, but of course they are just, yeah, just to have and just for fun. So I decided to make a bracelet out of them. There are 4 videos accompanying this album. The first 2 were more like visualizers for Burning Heart 2020 and Shadows of the Night, because they were actually going to do band videos with Dutch director Marcel de Vrij, whom you might know from the super cool documentary Atje. They had arranged everything, the studio, the lights, the camera crew. Ronnie had come over, and then bam, the entire world went into lockdown because of COVID. After these 2 videos, Adrian made 2 more with a lyrics video maker. One was for Freight Train, a very powerful video full of flames and trains and really doing the song justice, and a very beautiful one for Skyfall with a lot of red and black waves, lightning and symbolism. At least I always thought that these wings going up in smoke and turning into the Vandenberg logo, that it symbolized the end of Vandenberg's MoonKings, because they used to have the owl and the wings as logo and turning into Vandenberg. Shadows of the Night is the uptempo opener of the album. It's also been used as opener for concerts. It's got a lot of slides, and the solo starts with a super slow, delicious bend from Adrian and his signature vibrato. Freight Train is some serious rock porn. It's got a very heavy groove, a killer riff, raw vocals, and some genius stops that reinforce the power of the song. The solo on this one is one of Adrian's favorite solos on the album. And the ending is great, with Ronnie shouting into your face just when you don't expect it anymore, and Adrian playing with his switch. The first time I heard Hell and High Water, I was lying in bed with my headphones on. It was around midnight, and I was listening to the Rob Sass rock show because he was going to play this song for the first time. It totally blew me away. It felt like an adventurous trip that was taking me to different places all the time. It's a doomy, epic track. It just sucks you in and carries you away. They immediately get to the point with a drum roll, Ronnie's cry, and Adrian's killer riff. It's got a surprising chord choice, and the rhythm guitars backing up the first solo are really good, and this solo has a bit of an Arabic feeling to it. Then comes the part with the keyboards that the first time I heard this, it was so special and different that it brought tears to my eyes. It really moved me. Adrian is playing a very passionate solo, and all the while Koen is hitting his cymbals. The mix of this song is wonderful. Everything is perfectly balanced. Adrian and Ronnie, they really complement each other. The lyrics are burning with passion. I think this is one of Adrian's masterpieces. Now, it turned out that the writing of this song pretty much evoked the same feelings as listening to this song, because this is what Adrian said about it. The writing was actually a journey in itself. Every time when I had a part that I thought this could be cool, then I suddenly got inspired to come up with yet another part where it flows into. It's one of the songs that really turned out exactly like I was hoping for. It was worth all the late nights, the stress, and the forgetting to eat. Let It Rain is a wonderful, sad rock ballad with lyrics like only Adrian can. One last night laying by your side. This really made me cry very much the first time I heard it. The production on this song is sublime. It's got a lot of wonderful details, like the dubbed vocals every time right before the chorus, the dubbed guitar right after the first chorus, the Hendrix-like lick during the second verse, which Adrian used his Stratocaster for, just for those few seconds, and the way Adrian makes his guitar cry when he starts the solo. Also, the rhythm guitars backing up the solo are really great on this track again. All the while, Randy is doing an excellent job on the bass, and it ends with this emotional sigh from Ronnie. It's not the most surprising track on the album, but it is a perfect classic Vandenberg ballad with all the ingredients matching, and very well done how Adrian makes the song feel like purifying rain falling down on you. Somebody said you have to have gigantic balls to use a cliche title like Ride Like the Wind. I guess he has, because it works very well. It's a fantastic song with a very strong rhythm section. The chorus gives an enormous feeling of freedom and speed. It makes you want to get in the car, turn the windows down and turn the music up. It's got very strong rhythm guitars again during the solo. Adrian gives the song wings during the bridge. He is playing vibratos and pinch harmonics like his life is depending on it. And what about that wonderful part every time right after the chorus, where his fingers are dancing on the fretboard. Shout is a powerful rock anthem. It starts with a slide and a killer riff, and it's unbelievable that Adrian was doubting whether he was going to use this riff. Adrian is not a big effects guy, but the flanger used on these verses is absolutely wonderful. And what about that guitar tone? It's Brian and Rudy playing on this song, and the groove is wonderful, so steady and strong. It's got very inspiring lyrics. I made them my personal anthem, and it's a great song to dance to. It also has a great break that would be very suitable to do live. They have not been playing this live yet. I hope they will do that one fine day. It's got a great outro where Adrian is surprising by not playing the da-da-da-da-da that he was playing before. And apparently this song was written at the last moment. I'm so glad he included it. Somebody wrote that Shitstorm was at most wind speed 2 at the bow 4 scale, which is a light breeze. I would say more it's wind force 11, a violent shitstorm, because what about this intro with the rim shot and Adrian's guitar building up the tension towards the killer guitar riff? And what about that distortion? It's the finest I've ever heard. It's Brian Tichy and Rudy Sarzo again playing on this song. The rhythm is super tight with some great drum rolls, and it's a great song to dance to. Note the detail at the end where the guitar comes to tease in the left channel. Shitstorm, I think, is a brilliant title, and it's gotten one of those explicit warnings that Adrian actually thought was an honor. Light Up the Sky is a feel-good song with a fast and wild solo. The wonderful line, "You gotta live it up like it's your final day." And an ending like they would be playing it live. Burning Heart 2020 is the matured version with this 30+ year experience solo that really touched my soul. It's got that typical Adrian slow timing. The change between the acoustic and the electric part makes it very dynamic, and it's got so much emotion. Ronnie is doing an excellent job on this song. He also stresses on different parts of the lyrics, which makes it a bit more playful. And the rhythm section is Sem and Mart from MoonKings. The first time I heard Skyfall was at the same time the video premiered. I hadn't expected something like this at all after Shadows of the Night and Freight Train, And also because the video and the song reinforce each other, I just sat there and cried. It was so beautiful. Both the intro and the outro have very beautiful keyboards. It's got the most wonderful guitar intro I've ever heard. A wonderful Adrian signature solo. Koen at his best. Beautiful lyrics that Ronnie is singing straight into your heart, like born to be wild and free. This is one of Adrian's finest compositions, if you ask me. My personal favorites are Freight Train, Hell and High Water, Shout and Skyfall. I certainly recommend this album. It's passionate, melodic hard rock. It's honest and played from the heart. And Adrian and Ronnie, they bring out the best in each other. I rate this album 9.5 out of 10 stars. And last but not least, if you want to see some videos that I did for this album, live ones, homemade music videos, I will put all the links in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you next time.